Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 332. We're going to be coloring the basket in Romantic Country on the camping page, mostly finishing it up. I did some homework, but I still have some grass on the left side, some trees on the left side. I did trees around the tent because I want to work on the tent today after I get the basket done and see if we can add some life to that blue. It looks very pale to me compared to what I had in mind, so I want to brighten it up. And then we will call this one done. The exciting news as I get coloring, there's only 3 colors I was going to do for the basket, and that is light to dark. Let's see if I've got them all orientated properly. We've got Fawn MN121, Castle DG138, and Dark Chocolate SC40. So I am going to start with some of the shadows. Our light source, remember, is off over here to the right. So the basket's left side will be decidedly cast in shadow. I have some pretty fun news. It's changing my schedule, but I enjoy that I can be pretty flexible with my schedule. So I got a call from my friend in North Carolina who is coming down here to craft with me. She was going to be here on Tuesday, but she calls and lets me know that the whole East Coast on Tuesday is going to be raining all day from where she is at, which is Asheville, and all the way to here. So she says, I said, oh, do you want to come on a different day? I actually thought when she called that for sure she was going to cancel. So I was so relieved that it wasn't to cancel. She says, how about I come tomorrow? Okay, so that's Sunday. And I said, sure, that would be great. She says the only caveat to that is I do have to work. So I said, not a problem. So she will be coming a few days early. I have one extra video filmed that I'm going to post next week, and I would like to post a couple more. I don't know, it's just when we craft, this is my longtime crafting friend, we're pretty focused, and we've got a bunch of card and paper crafting projects that we want to take care of. So there's all my shadowy bits. Even this is kind of tucked behind these 2 apples and the logs here. So it's mainly this area that in the top of the handle that will get some extra light. So I am going to be taking most of the week off from the daily color. If I get a chance, I will pop in. And I might even, if I get a chance before she arrives tomorrow, I might pre-film an episode or 2. And I will be doing a weekly review tomorrow. She doesn't come until the evening. Now we're going to go with the middle tone, which is a nice warm tone called Castle, a reddish brown. It is actually the color of these boots. I chose the same tones. And I'm using little ovals. I'm going to go ahead and let the vertical lined areas and then the kind of the snake wrap is going to be a light tone. So it's going to be crazy to have that much time. Kind of like when I went to my mom's, I did what I could film-wise, Got my space here all organized, and my Christmas cards are just about done. I managed to get through a lot of them yesterday, like a ton of cards yesterday. And then those are all the ones I have to get mailed off to family back in Washington State. Those needed to be done. I didn't want that hanging over my head. Since she's now going to be here the whole week, I'm really glad that I got a lot of progress made yesterday. I even had Hub, for his family, he picked their cards from what I had made. This is the lightest tone. It is still a warm tone called Fawn, MN121. I don't know if you can tell, but I did add a little bit of red on the apples. A couple days ago, I was just sitting there doing a little bit of my homework, and the reds were just reaching out to me, so I darkened them up more in line with the shirt tone. And I'm trying to keep things a little bit light and bright. So there's our basket finished. Now we're going to tackle this tent. I'm looking at my tips. There they all are. This Picasso sky might be lighter. Pleasant blue. Okay, so we have Picasso Sky DG 150, followed by Pleasant Blue DG 149, Forget Me Not BW 107, SC 17 Blue Horizon. I have one blue here that I'm missing. It is MN 64. And MN42 is the darkest blue moon. So MN64 is floating around somewhere. Found it. So these are all of our blues that we get to play with, in addition to maybe bringing in some tones to make the tent look more dirty, aged. So these are going to sit, rather than me holding them, So this whole back is in shadow, and I had a little bit of a glow right here that I'm not sure how it ended up being glowy. I do want my lines to be long canvasy material type lines. So I finally caught up. I have been working on Christmas cards all week, getting ready for company, but then of course escalated as of this morning. And so one subscriber, Dan from Italy, asked if I could share the story of where my dark sepia was hiding. And I actually forgot that I didn't mention it, and I never posted. I'll go back and I will post this on the comment. But I did reply to her comment that the dark sepia was short enough that it slipped out of my rubber band bundle of browns in my tote and was in the bottom, kind of nestled in a gap. It was almost like it was under one of the layers. So I ended up, I already looked for it there and did not see it in the bottom. But that is the Murphy's Law part of the whole thing. That, of course, I get the new pencil. I go to put the new pencil away, pull out the bundle of browns, the poly browns, and look straight down, And there it is, nestled up in the corner. So there you have it. And that's my story of my brown sepia. And I knew that it was somewhere. So down here, as we add more and more color, we have the appearance of folds. So let's just see if I can do these folds justice and then make the fabric look stretched. I do want it to also look like it's concave. I'm not thinking it's going to be perfect by any means. And again, I might knock back the tone. I'm liking this a lot better. Do let me know what you think. It's all a part of the learning process. Okay, so still using the dark. Trying to get a couple of these lines. I'm gonna grab Storm Blue, which is the 64. That is a much brighter blue, isn't it? I'm getting kind of sketchy here. I'm just playing with the lines. Less ovals, more liney. That might be too liney. Thank goodness for erasing and adding soft layers. It's so interesting, the stress of doing this. Like, I would be stressed whether I was filming it or not, because it is just a new type of page for me, not being an experienced coloring book colorist. Oh, and I want to get that right there. I'll have to put some dark gray. I think I switched back to the dark blue moon, and I forgot to tell you. I was thinking about the being stressed and just going for it. It is just a page. I already have a back, I've done all of the mitigating de-stressors. I have another book sitting there that if I really mess it up and I don't feel like I am finished, I can go pull out that book and color it again if I have to. I'm going to an even lighter color I have grabbed the Blue Horizon. I'm slowly depleting these lines down till I like them. I have a Christmas decoration out front that I have not battened it down. It's a long banner. One side says Merry Christmas, the other side of the door says Happy New Year, and when the wind is up, it makes a sound, and it's making its sound. I'm going to have to remember to fix that. Okay, so now we're moving over to the panels that are starting to be exposed to some light. This panel probably technically is still in shadow, I'm going to say. But it might get some reflection, so I'm going to keep at it with this color, the Blue Horizon. Yep, Blue Horizon. I'm even going to darken this line. It's very toothy looking. I have to decide if I'm going to remove the tooth. I'll have to use a lighter color to burnish. And if I am going to burnish the whole thing out, I'll have to do all of it. And that's a separate process. This area still is a little bit awkward. I'll probably have to do some cleanup there. I have a gray here. I want a darker gray than that. Okay, this is called coal. I'm looking on my list. Coal is MN110. It's the equivalent of the 90% cool gray. So I am doing a little bit of shadowing now. Knocking back some of that bright blue. to make those folds not so bright. I've got my dark gray. I'm gonna go back here and still keep darkening. So right along the seam here where this fold is, I want it to be super dark. I want it to appear like it goes down and is concave. So I hope that is what is happening here. I'm going to leave these two panels alone, and now I'm going to grab a couple of colors for the front two panels, starting with, I've got Blue Moon's the darkest, Storm Blue, and then I have Blue Horizon in my hand, so I am going to play with the Blue Horizon. I am softening as I go deeper into the, I want this to appear like it's curved in. And this side panel is more in shadow. And we've got some shading. I have to minimize that. Now, I used white. And that white, for me visually, is very white down each of these seams. They had black lines. I got rid of the black lines. I am kind of new to using ink to do that. I think I used acrylic. So I need to soften that so it's not so whitish looking to me. And I've got that flag right there in shadow behind it. I have that dark gray in my hand, Kohl, MN110. I want to come in here and really make sure that that is still in shadow. I think this is where the directional lines are really important since it is a fabric. So I'm trying to replicate what the fabric directional texture would be like. Okay, more back to the blue horizon. Oh, and look at that. I have sunlight. The sunlight has caught up with me. So I am sitting right here. See if I can stay ahead of that. Oh, bumped it. So the distance from the fire pit to the tent, there is no shadow being cast because the sun is coming from behind here. So if you're curious why I'm not adding any shadow for this part of the tent, it is because there is no shadow being cast there. The only thing, I do have a, somewhere here, some erasing. This area was a little bit streaky. I do like so much being able to erase. Well, I am much happier with this rework of the tent. You guys let me know what you think. It just seemed way too light. I want to give a little bit of an appearance of some depth. So that's what these gray lines are doing for me. don't think I'm gonna call this quite a completed, but it is close. I have the top. So I'm gonna just make the top just to keep it really easy. I'm gonna make the top that you guys can't even see. I'm gonna move up. Let you see more of the page. You don't need to see the windmill over on the left that isn't being worked on right now. So I am going for that sort of a look where I'm using, that was Blue Moon, which is the darkest. And then the front is going to be done. I still haven't used the lighter colors. SC17 Blue Horizon is going to be this front. I am doing it very softly. And then I will come back here. I might even add a glaze of gray. It should just be a shadowy, back to coal, MN110. I think I'm going to, we've gotten dark. Brighten it up a bit. A little more shadow with coal. I also noticed that, so I have my texture lines along this front panel. I have no pulls like back here on, move down and move you back in so you can see the folds. I don't really have any folds here, so I'm going to see if I can post coloring, maybe add some, and then see if I can get some subtle texturing. Okay, so I have some faint lines started. I need to soften these up now that I know that that's the back. They should all be colored. I'm doing a soft glaze of the gray. It might be kind of a dark gray for this, but let's just see what happens. I am going to use a blue, I've got a lighter gray called Graythorn SD18. Sorry, yeah, SD018. I hope you guys are seeing my soft, subtle additions of these folds. And I think I am liking this blue tint way, way better now. Let me know your thoughts. I am continuing on with SD018. Trying to get the bottom of the tent a little more roundy looking. Still using SD018. A much lighter gray. I can feel when I'm on these lines, I feel the acrylic. Just trying to soften the whiteness. I don't want them to be so stark white. I don't know that I am there yet in my coloring journey, but if I was, I would be doing something with these lines. But I don't want to take on that challenge more than what I just did with these, the thick tint lines. I was confident with that, but I am not confident with the exterior tint lines. So this is where, for me, I would just keep going and going. I could spend hours on the tent alone, perfecting all of the nuances of it, but I just don't know that it needs any more, since the rest of the coloring is more sketchy. I don't want the tent to be more detailed than anything else. I do have, however, we're at 42 minutes. I have Picasso Sky, and this is DG150. It's a little bit lavender-esque. I'm going to go for 149, which is more of a robin's egg blue. And I'm going to come along here and fill in a little tooth. I think I hear Hub. Yep, I'm definitely hearing him. So, I think I will go ahead and call it. I will probably play a little bit more with it. I've got the background to finish. We will see if for the weekly review I can get this to a point of being what I would consider complete. Do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you guys watching. And tomorrow will be our weekly review, and then next week will be some bonus episodes as I have time while I spend time with my friend who is here for the week. Everybody take care. I will see you tomorrow.